Welcome back everybody to another chess video on this channel. Today I played a Blitz Arena tournament 3 minute at 12 at midnight. I'm not even joking. It was that late and it was a Blitz Arena, everybody plays one another at the field, and I played around let's say 6 games, and I had a pretty fun night, and it was organized by some guy that I found on Twitch, and he's from the, Low Elo Safe Space Discord server. You can go find it. I'm not gonna advertise. And let's say it was a pretty good night for me, I have to say, to close the day, but I can show you the results in a little bit. But before we start, I have to say, I did play the streamer that was organizing it. I did play a couple of 2000s, a couple of 1100s, 1700s. I played a guy that was 2000, that guy was 1700, then the YouTuber who's 2000 at Bullet. That guy is really fast, and a couple of 1000s, 800s, 700s, and a 500. We need to close the day with a good hunt. And yeah, before we get into the games, I'm gonna have to show you the results so y'all can believe me. It is also on my account. It says medals, and I'm saying medals because we actually got a good placement on the tournament, as you can see. We got second place with 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss, and these are the standings and the people that played. Now let's get to the video, and I hope you can solve the puzzle that I've given you at the start of the video. Alright, so we're gonna begin with the first game. This first game was against a guy that is 2000 in Bullet, and the guy that was actually, making this event. I'm not even joking, this guy was 2000 on Bullet. On Rapid, he's, 1300. We have a d4, knight f6, okay, we're heading for another Grunfeld. Let's see how it is. Trolling time, g6, king e3, bishop g7, king f4. Okay, that is really nice, but what about d5 and knight e4 check? You shouldn't have done that. Now you gotta lose a couple of pieces, and yeah, the knight is already doomed, so you might as well. And now we're gonna queen trade, and by the time the dust settles, you're on a -5 position. Congratulations. Okay, now we got this attacking some undefended things. We don't care about the spawn because we're gonna do this, and then kick this guy, and they can attack us as much as they want. And yes, this bishop is a little stuck, but our rook is a little faster. And we just slowly but surely, we win the entire house. As you can see, there was some chance of counterplay, but it was just not enough. I sacrifice, and eventually we pick up the material, and we shortly checkmate. Okay, that was amazing. This is the elo of the players. It is 1300 because it's on Blitz. On Rapid, it is 1200, and on Bullet, it is 2000. You can check for yourself. Let's go to the next game. Pretty short game, as you can see here. We're just going to go quickly through it. d4, e5, and England Gambit. We have bishop c5, which I have no clue what it does. I honestly do not know. Knight f3, f6. Another terrible move. He's trying to get some development going by giving up pawns. But no, he's taking with the queen. Okay, that is even better for me. e3, just, preventing any, sacrificial ideas, which are kind of common in gambits. d5, okay, that's just a free pawn, but we want to be a little patient first. Okay, that just is still a free pawn. Okay, bishop b6, queen g5. Okay, so you missed the fact that this piece is defending. We take it. Okay, good. Knight takes c5, bishop takes d4. You win this, and we win this game. Because my opponent, after this move, resigns, and let's go to the next game, which... Alright, let's go. Alright, so the next game, is against the 1900, 2000. Again, there were a lot of 2000s on this tournament. I got in stumble into many of them. Okay, so we're gonna begin. We have a Sicilian which delves deep into the Con Sicilian. Okay, so the Con Sicilian is beginner friendly, doesn't have too much theory, and they have some easy plans. The most common variation on the Con Sicilian is knight c3, the knight variation, which I like to play bishop c5. This is mainline theory. You go here, then you just develop your queen here. I know this queen c7 move, this looks really weird, but trust me, it is theory. You're trying to support against the e5 push, which is really common in Sicilians. In Sicilians, you really don't want to push your pawns without a reason, because sometimes you get a plus... your opponent get a +3 advantage on you. Sometimes that can happen. So we have bishop e3, just casual development, long castles, knight f6, f4, get some more central space, bishop d7, g4, knight takes d4, that's a free pawn, and h5. Okay, it's just an equal position despite me being up a pawn. Why is this an equal position? Because, you know, I'm still in the center, and the queen side is a little messy, so I have to go to the king side eventually. But h3, knight takes e3, queen takes e3, and g6, this is where the problems start to begin. F5, here I had to play this unfindable move, which I was thinking, but I didn't like it because I was going to give the pawn back. So I play e takes f5. And as you can see, +2 advantage already. E takes f5, bishop takes f5, knight d5. And as you can see, a couple moves later, I decide to, I should have, gone here. But I'm a little blind, and I lose a queen and a couple. How many moves? It was a lot of moves. I try to raise some sort of counterplay by trying to win the queen, but he's 2000, so of course he's going to see that. And I resign, well, one move away from checkmate, because that's what you should probably do. Let's go to the next game. Okay, so for the next game, we have against I'll show you a little later. So I have d4, the England Gambit. Okay, again, I'll say it. If you're playing against the England Gambit, take the pawn. And if they attack it, you defend it. If they attack it again, you play e4. They take it, you go here. And this is the position you're going to work with. If they play knight f6, which is one of the most common moves, the most common moves is they take your knight and then, you take back and, that move actually loses for a lot of reasons, but knight f6 is one of the moves, and in this case, you need to play bishop g5, not knight z5. I don't know, that isn't even a good move. If they play h6, you actually need to take here, defy the laws of physics. He takes like this, and then normally what they'd like to do here is to take with the queen, and then you can go here, but then you're giving a little bit of advantage, so you better take the knight first, then threaten this, but then you'll get kicked out, so you might as well trade the queens here on your terms, because you'll be forcing him a little backwards. But we have h6, bishop takes, knight takes with check. That is the reason why it's not a queen blunder. Queen takes f3, queen takes f6, we have a queen trade, and knight d5, you have two choices. Either get forked, king and rook, or lose a pawn, and he chooses to lose the pawn. Bishop g7, e5, he takes, and rook e8 check, okay, sure. King d2, d5, rook e1. This position looks absolutely terrifying for white, but let me tell you right now, it is not. Rook e6, and we trade, and a couple moves later, we've got the following position. Of course, what he should have done here is try to focus on the queen side, try to expand there, but no, he instead decides to lose a bishop, and he loses it like this, and slowly we force this nice little weakness, and we eventually trap his rook, and slowly win and outplay this endgame. And we make our queen. I even sacked the rook here, so one have to worry about time or stalemates. And we checkmate with king and queen. And this is the elo of the player, 800. I'm pretty sure it's 1,000 rapid. Yeah, 1,000. Okay, so that was that. Let's go to the next game. The following game is against 900. D4, D5, C4, the Queen's Gambit, one of the main openings I use with white. Got a lot of success with it. Knight f6, though, is not the move. You cannot defend against the Queen's Gambit, because I will just simply take flank pawn for a central pawn. And after you take back with a knight, I will just play e4. And after you do this, I will just go f4 instead and have 3 pawns in the center and have a massive space advantage. h5 is definitely not the move. Knight f3. Bishop g4, very common move. Bishop e2 takes, absolutely not a good move. The bishop was far better than the knight. I don't know what z6 does. Probably tries to prepare fianchetto, but doesn't do a fianchetto. Knight c3, we're getting some nice little development, and instead of developing a new fianchetto square, you develop on the exact opposite square, and decide to trade off and go into horses versus the pointy heads. middle game, along with queens and rooks. Now, if you ask me which position you would want in this game, I would probably say white, because bishop pair and massive space advantage. Could have an open f-file in the future. We go castles. Here goes castles. Now the position is +2 because the move f5, which simply looks like it's giving up a pawn. But if you take this, and they take, and let's be like, oh, I want a pawn, sweet. Well, now I'm getting in with my queen, and you really, really don't want to play in this position, and you're actually losing a lot of things at the same time. So that's the reason why you can't take this if you play 5. But I play probably the second line of the engine. No, one of them up there. Gives away a lot of advantage, but it's a fine move. E5 stops any like F5s. But F5 is still played. Absolutely do not take en passant here. I know the engine is like this, but like you give this open file and it's not good. So instead, we have queen b3, not a bad move, tries to attack something that is pretty weak, I'm going to be honest with you. A5 though, and queen takes e6 check is so bad because of the queen infiltration, and it actually proves to be very fatal for black, because I get to trade queens on my own terms. He gets to attack me, but I just fork and win more things, and win more things. And eventually we win more things, we fork more things, we kick out the king. Actually, there was a checkmate. There was no checkmate here, which is unfortunate. And here I just sacked the spawn, then I went forward, then I went here, took the knight, and then went here, sacked the rooks to make the queen, and here's on this position. Actually, he ran out of time. Yep, he ran out of time. I wish I could explain the more moves, but I think that's all. Let's go to the next. Okay, so the next game was actually pretty funny, because I drew. That was my only draw. In a funny way, you'll see. E4, C5, we have Alpine Sicilian. Now, in blitz games, which I most commonly see the Alpine Sicilian, I like to play the move E5. A lot of people would say, why not this, or why not this? You know, these are like the more common Sicilian lines. They're the only two that work. What about E5? Tell me what advantage you're going to get when I play E5. With D4, sure, I will just take, and then develop a knight with a tempo, and queen D1, bishop B4 check. And actually, there's some problems here. Now I'm just better. Because of active development, you can block, I don't care. Knight F6, sure. Equal position now, D6. Stops any e5 pushes, which could happen in the future. Bishop b5 does nothing. Bishop d7, castles, knight c4, queen c7. Just, yeah, that's just a clean pawn hang, but he doesn't see it. I kick out this bishop, takes, and now he sees it. Okay, sure, we're just gonna play down a pawn in this endgame. This is an unfortunate mistake cause of knight here. And, after takes, and after that move specifically, which throws away the entire advantage because of doubling the pawn structure, making it ugly, then your rook's on the 7th rank, or 2nd rank in this case, and then g5. Now, g5 is a little complicated for a beginner, but the point of this is to make them take you. We did not get played, and then slowly win the pawns because, you know, they're split and cannot be defended at any point. That is why the move g5 is very important. And now this position is just a dead draw, but after this move, it is not a dead draw because I just win this once, and check, and we go up, and we can... Now we win this pawn, and slowly we will outplay white. But here's the funny part, this is a draw. Shocking. It is a theoretical draw. Now it is not a draw, but slowly we break through. And here's some funny thing happened. This is where the game ended. No, it didn't end by timeout or by resignation. It ended in a draw by repetition. Now, do you see any repetition here? I play rook b2, rook b1, rook b2, rook b3, and rook b2, and it counted as a repetition because I played rook b2, I think, a couple of times, and it ended in an unfortunate draw against. He's 1100, but I'm pretty sure he's a little more. Yeah, he's 1700. Wow, that was one of my best victories. Okay, let's go to the next one because that one was fun. And for the final game, it was like after the tournament, and it was like a rapid game, which I played like to close the day. So we begin with d4 knight of 6, c4 g6. We have a Grunfeld. Okay, so the Grunfeld, for those that have not been watching my channel, is an opening that gives away the big center to white, but has undermining moves such as c5, knight c6 to add more pressure, and trying. Let me show you an example of a line here. Here, this is the Grandmaster line. You put your bishop here, and after a couple of moves of stuff, you want to play the move c5 here. If they take, they get absolutely destroyed. So they're not going to do that, actually. They're just going to, castle the way out of there. You can take or play knight c6, and now if they take, your bishop just gets stronger. So that's the whole point of the Grunfeld. You try to smash the white center and get that hero bishop on g7. Very active, but we don't have that for now. We have knight takes d5, e3, the Payson variation of the exchange. You don't want to take the knight. You just want to be patient and finish your development. Now, in this case, you need to retreat a little bit. Now you can take the bishop, but I chose the castle first and then take the bishop. Now I'm actually completely winning, by the way, but I missed the opportunity for that. The opportunity was I just could do this, and if they took, well, they lose a queen. But if they took like this, then I just take the knight. So that was what I missed. But I for some reason, got a little scared. This is even better. I mean, in my eyes, that was the cool idea I had. This like one of the sniping moves. For example, let's say they develop their knights. A nice little move here is c5, because if they do this, then they just lose the game on the spot. There's too many threats, and if you take that, well, you know what is going to happen. You're just going to lose a lot of material. So that's not going to happen in a million years. So we have bishop d2 instead. Queen here to attack the pawn. Now, a really good move I was considering is a move like this. However, it loses to this completely, even if they, manage to get in here. There's just too many threats, so that's the reason why my opponent did not play. Instead, he moved the pawn, moved myself out of there. He attacked me once. I went here. He developed a knight, and then I went here. He retreated, and I pinned the knight, traded, and played queen d7 to prepare c5. Now, if you take, you lose the rook. So obviously, my opponent just pushed the pawn and lost the rook immediately. But the reason why the position is not minus like a billion is because of my very weak dark squares, and because I traded the Grunfeld bishop, which in most cases is just slightly better than a rook. Some cases. I have knight a6 trying to develop a little faster. Bishop c3 tries to take advantage of my weak dark squares. As you can see, the Fianchetto bishop is gone, so we might as well take advantage of it. Knight c7 to attack this pawn. Defends it, and we play f6 here to try to patch the dark squares, but weaken the light squares. However, he doesn't have a light square bishop, and in that way, he can't take advantage of the light squares. Rook e1 is the move chosen. Knight b5 to attack the bishop, bishop b2. Rook f7 to try and, defend my king even better. h5, knight d4. Instead of taking and, winning, I mean, this would just win a pawn, but instead, he just does this. I could do this, but then I'm peasant. You just come here and then you trade everything, and even though they can win this pawn, you take this, and you come in this equal endgame, just dominant on the second rank. That's the reason why the engine gives this. Knight b5, although hangs the game on the spot because of the move e5, which is played. F takes e5, rook takes e5, and now +3. I need to do this. I did this, so we simplified down into this endgame. And here we'll play a little bit of a tactical fight. After this move, he took here, which allows me this move. And after he goes here, we go here, and then we just go here, try to trade off the queens. He attacks my knight, I blockade. Even at the cost of a pawn, we win the pawn back immediately. Check, we block, check, we block, check, we move, check, we block. He abandons his queen, and we trade, and we win this pawn. And we just slowly force our opponent on a zugzwang. This is a zugzwang after this move, and this, the opponent doesn't have any good move. And they get zugzwanged, and slowly we won the game, and my opponent ran out of time. So that is all the games. This one wasn't really, well, a game part of the tournament or of the YouTuber games. Uh, I I will show you the YouTuber games in a second. So let me do that right now. All right, so we begin with the first YouTuber game. I'm gonna be honest. After the tournament, I was really tired. Then I slowly got my energy back up because I drank a little bit of coffee to wake me up on the games. We had Trompowsky, knight c6 variation of the a3 and nice little c4 here. I decided to not trade the bishop, which is what you should probably do on the Trompowsky. But in this case, I decided to keep my bishop. He's insists on taking the bishop, so I just castled that way. And I let him take the bishop. Honestly, here, taking the f-pawn was better. But I didn't take it this time, and that actually proved to be my destruction today. We have a couple of normal moves, you know, the queen moves here, darts out of the position, and better, but discontested. Knight h2, bishop f5, e4, and leaves the pawn hanging, but isn't get spotted. Now we have this, and slowly but surely, we're gonna make some weaknesses. Bishop g4 check is not the move, even though it looks very nice. Knight here, though, after this, I lose a bishop, and I decided to just, hang it completely, and a couple moves later was made it. That was the first game. Let's go to the second. Alright, for the third game, for the final game, which was the YouTuber game, which I played, which is the last one for today. By the way, I'm saying today, but I record this video at like 2 in the morning, and by the time the video gets uploaded, it's like afternoon, which more of you watch. So we have, honestly, these two games were really trash. I'm gonna be real honest with you. They were so bad. We have knight c3 d5. This is the Van Geet opening. It's a transposition to Gorin variation of the queen's pawn opening. Really bad opening choice, but sure, we'll stick with it. And we get some fast development. And here, after this move, I induced this weakness, of course. And after this move, I played a little bit of hope chess here. I brought my queen here to try to create some sort of attack. I baited him to playing b4, which, as you can see, is pretty fatal, because after this, and this, I'm here, I just took the queen and stopped some of my attack. This is just fine, and we attack the bishop, we send it a little backwards, we attack it again, we solidify and kick out the knight. And as you can see, we have a pretty fun position at the moment, and -5 because, well, here actually there is 2 forks being threatened. If you don't do anything, there is let me play a random move. So there is this fork and this fork. Obviously, this fork is way better according to the engine, but also this fork is fine. I don't know why. What's the difference between the two? Maybe because you just win an extra pawn, compared to the other one, which you don't win an extra pawn. We have this fork. He chooses to get forked this way, and we attack his things, we attack his prized possessions, and we will slowly build up some sort of attack. Here, should have probably rook lifted, and give this check, and then, then take, and then, things could be really... Oh, sorry about that one. I just exited my Just.com account. You didn't see anything. Only my wallpaper, which has a car. But all of that didn't happen. D takes e4, knight takes e4, f5. Now it's going to get a little laggier because I exited for a split second. Now we enter into this tactical fashion, which apparently he wins, because, as you can see from the clear simplification, I'm simply down a fucking bishop. And after the move, rook e8, and this move, I pretty much signed my death certificate, because he just has to push his pawns slowly, take his rooks there, and solidify everything, attack everything, and slowly will win all my pawns. As you can see, the position is +3. It is enough to win a chess game, and as you can see, the reason why I'm not playing this is because this is just fatal. You just win the freaking game. Check here, and also the reason because I'm not playing this, not this. This is because you can play this move. And even though it says it's losing, you can simplify into this completely winning endgame, and you just, win everything. A little bit of a tactical battle, as you can see. King d4, rook c6, and kicks out my things. I try to hope for some sort of stalemate. He got really close to stalemate. As you can see here, if you promote here, actually this is stalemate. Would have been really embarrassing, but he sees it, gives me a little bit of room, and here is where the game ended. And no, the game did not end in my loss. It ended in his loss. You say why? It was a rapid game, but he's got time. He resigned. He had to do something. I had to leave earlier, and I'm gonna be honest. There's a saying in chess, from somebody, from a grandmaster. I'll prefer to take the worst looking victory over the prettiest defeat. And this is how I exactly feel. Like, the guy resigned here, and there's like mate in 4, which is really easy to find. And he had plenty of time to find it. 42 seconds to find you know, this, you know, this is just simple. You just pre-move this. You don't even have to worry about your opponent. You just pre-move the entire thing. You don't care that you missed mate in 4, mate in 5. You just pre-move this and you win. But no, he resigned because he had to go a little earlier. But it's fine. This wasn't rated. It was unrated. So I think that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed, and now I'm going to get some sleep. Obviously, for the people who are like watching when the video got uploaded, it's not midnight, it is afternoon. But right now, as you can see from the top of the screen, it is 2 a.m. in the morning. That is exactly like 3 hours ago that Blitz Arena thing started, and I'm recording the videos. I'll see you guys next time.